The Dallas Cowboys have made a thunderous statement this offseason that has sent shockwaves not just through the NFC East but across the entire NFL by officially naming Nick Bosa as the cornerstone of their defensive future. This move signals a new era in Dallas, one that fans, analysts, and opposing teams alike cannot ignore. In a franchise steeped in history and defined by dominant defenses of the past, the doomsday defense of the 1970s, the hard-nosed units of the 1990s dynasty, this bold acquisition and declaration harkens back to a time when Dallas imposed its will on every snap. And with Bosa in the mix, that kind of defensive dominance may be making a very timely return. Let's break down why this move matters so much, not just for Dallas, but for the entire structure of the league. Nick Bosa, former 49ers edge rusher and Defensive Player of the Year, brings not just talent but a pedigree that few defensive players in NFL history can match at this point in their careers. Coming into the league as the number 2 overall pick, he immediately lived up to the hype, notching 9 sacks and winning Defensive Rookie of the Year in his debut season. Over the years, his technique, strength, and football IQ elevated him to elite status, topping leaderboards in quarterback pressures, win rate percentage, and setting a new standard for edge rushers. Bosa isn't just fast and powerful, he's technically precise. His ability to bend around tackles, his hand placement, his motor, and his ability to anticipate snap counts make him almost unblockable in one-on-one scenarios. For the Cowboys, adding a player of this caliber isn't just about stats, it's about mentality. It's about leadership. It's about setting the tone for every other defensive player on that field. From the Cowboys' front office standpoint, declaring Nick Bosa as the defensive cornerstone is no hollow statement. It represents a philosophical shift in how the team is being constructed. For years, Dallas has relied heavily on Micah Parsons to be their game wrecker, and rightly so. Parsons has become one of the most dominant defensive players in the NFL since his debut. But by bringing in Bosa, they aren't just giving Parsons a running mate, they're creating what could be the most dangerous defensive duo in modern NFL history. This isn't just a Pro Bowl tandem. This is potentially 2 future Hall of Famers playing on the same line, wreaking havoc on opposing offenses. The pairing is likely to have ripple effects not just on the field but in the locker room. Bosa's work ethic, discipline, and preparation habits are already legendary. Bringing that into a locker room full of young, talented defenders could elevate the entire unit's level of play. And let's not forget Parsons himself has spoken glowingly about Bosa, calling him the standard and expressing his drive to surpass him. Now, they're teammates. Iron sharpens iron, and with these two, expect a lot of sharpening going on between Sundays. The tactical implications of this move cannot be overstated. Defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, known for his aggressive, disciplined schemes, now has perhaps the 2 best edge rushers in the NFL at his disposal. Imagine a front four where Bosa and Parsons crash from the edges while Osa Odigizwa and Motzie Smith collapse the pocket from the interior. Offensive coordinators will be up late at night figuring out how to protect their quarterbacks. Slide protection? Bosa will beat the chip. Double team Parsons? Bosa's one-on-one. And with this much pressure coming from the line, the Cowboys can afford to drop more defenders into coverage, increasing their flexibility and disguises in the secondary. Expect more turnovers. Expect more third down stops. Expect chaos. This kind of pressure shortens the field for opposing offenses and gives the Cowboys' own offense more opportunities to score. From a cap standpoint, yes, this move is expensive. Bosa came with a record-breaking contract, 5 years, $170 million, with over $120 million guaranteed. But when you land a generational talent, you pay what it takes. It's a high-stakes investment, no doubt, but one that Dallas views as essential to competing for a Super Bowl in the next 2 to 3 years. The Cowboys know their window is now. They have a top 3 defense on paper, a Pro Bowl quarterback in Dak Prescott, elite weapons like CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, and a running game led by Tony Pollard that can balance the attack. But in the NFL, defense wins championships. And with Bosa and Parsons, Dallas is gambling that it's just raised its ceiling to championship level. There's also a strategic benefit to signing Bosa now, before having to extend Parsons. By setting the market now, they establish a ceiling they're willing to stretch for and give themselves negotiating room when it comes time to pay Micah his due. It's all part of a bigger picture, a carefully calculated master plan to build a defense-first dynasty in a league that increasingly values offense. Still, it's not without risk. Bosa has had injuries in the past, most notably an ACL tear early in his career and some soft tissue injuries in later seasons. Durability is always a concern with edge rushers, given the physical toll of their position. But Dallas is clearly betting on the upside, and if Bosa can stay on the field for 14-17 games a year, the impact he'll make will be well worth the risk. What's more, the Cowboys' medical and conditioning staff have made significant upgrades in recent years, and they believe they can keep him at peak performance throughout the season. And there's something to be said for culture fit as well. Bosa is a quiet leader, a film junkie, a technician. He brings a kind of intensity that complements the energy of a player like Parsons. Together, they form a balanced leadership core for the defense, Bosa with his methodical grind, and Parsons with his charismatic spark. The fans have already begun to feel the shift. Social media has been buzzing with excitement since the announcement. Super Bowl or bust, one fan tweeted. Others called it the most aggressive move Dallas has made in a decade. The hype is real, but so are the expectations. With Bosa in town, anything less than a deep playoff run will be considered a disappointment. But this isn't just about this season. It's about building a defensive identity that can last for years. Bosa is only 27. Parsons is 25. The Cowboys aren't just making a run, they're building a foundation. Imagine these two leading the charge into the 2026 and 2027 seasons. Imagine the kind of pressure they'll create as younger players like DeMarvion Overshown and Trayvon Diggs mature and find their roles. The Cowboys could be constructing something special here, something that mirrors the great defenses of the early 2000s Ravens or the Legion of Boom Seahawks. Those teams weren't just good, they defined an era. That's what Dallas is chasing. And then there's the psychological edge. Opposing quarterbacks now face a nightmare scenario. You've got Parsons, who can line up anywhere and blow up your play from any angle. And now you've got Bosa, who can single-handedly destroy your game plan. Offensive lines will have to pick their poison, and more often than not, that choice will end in a sack, a strip, or a third and long. That kind of pressure leads to mistakes, and mistakes lead to turnovers. And with an opportunistic secondary waiting in the wings, Dallas can turn defense into offense faster than almost any team in the league. Special teams also benefit. With better field position from defensive stops, shorter punts, and increased possessions, John Fassel's unit can flip games with momentum plays. It's all connected, and it starts up front with Nick Bosa. The media reaction has also been widespread. Analysts are calling it one of the boldest moves of the offseason. Some are questioning whether Dallas can sustain this level of spending long-term, while others are praising Jerry Jones for finally going all in on building a championship-caliber defense. Mike McCarthy, for his part, seems thrilled. He's talked about wanting a top-down identity built on physicality and discipline, and there's no better embodiment of that vision than Bosa. McCarthy's new-look staff, including veteran defensive minds, now has the personnel to unleash some truly creative schemes, possibly even bringing back hybrid 3-4/4-3 looks depending on the opponent. This level of flexibility will be crucial come playoff time, when adaptability often separates contenders from pretenders. In the end, naming Nick Bosa as the defensive cornerstone isn't just a headline, it's a mission statement. It's a message to the fans, the locker room, and the rest of the league that the Dallas Cowboys are no longer content with being good. They want to be feared. They want to dominate. And with Bosa on one side and Parsons on the other, they just might. The journey ahead won't be easy. The Eagles, the 49ers, and other powerhouses won't go quietly. But Dallas has made its move. The chessboard has changed. And the Cowboys just might have placed the biggest piece on it. So buckle up, because this isn't just another season, it's the start of a new era in Dallas. One defined by violence at the line of scrimmage, suffocating pressure, and two defensive titans who will stop at nothing to bring a Lombardi trophy back to AT&T Stadium. The NFL has been put on notice. The Cowboys aren't just aiming for the playoffs, they're coming for everything. And it starts with Nick Bosa.